Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and I am the owner of Lily Rose Craft Room. And if you're new here, welcome. So for today's video, we are going to be making a suspended glittered Peekaboo Snow Globe Tumbler. And what it is exactly is a snow globe tumbler, but it's suspended, the glitter is suspended so it doesn't move. Even though there's water inside, these will take about like 5 days to completely settle. So just like a regular snow globe, you have to like continue to shake and it will settle within probably a couple minutes. These will last like 5 days, so you don't have to constantly be shaking it. And that's the cool thing about these. We are going to be making this pink one on camera. And this is like a super neon pink. And it's really, really pretty. Here it is. Okay, so let's get right onto the video. All right, so we're gonna start off with Elmers Magical Liquid. So if you don't know what the magical liquid is for, its main purpose is for slime. So you just mix it with glue and voila, you make slime. But for this video, we're gonna be using it as a snow globe mixture solution. So the ratio that I like is for a suspended glitter look. So the glitter is not gonna be flowy, it's just gonna be suspended in place for longer. The ratio that I use is a 1:2 ratio. So I'm using the half cup, so I use half cup of the Elmer's glue and 2 half cups of the distilled water. And with this ratio, your glitter is going to be suspended for about 3 to 5 days. And the reason why I like the suspended look versus the flowy look is because when you have a regular flowy cup, your glitter is already settled by the time or before you finish your drink. So with this one, you can have a couple drinks before your glitter is settled. But this is just my personal preference. I like the suspended look better, but I did do a poll on Instagram to see which ones you like better, the flowy or suspended. And it was almost half and half. So 53% of you guys like the flowy and 47% like the suspended look. So let me know in the comments, what do you like, suspended or flowy? Okay, so I'm just mixing the liquids, that way they're all mixed together, and then I'm just gonna put it aside and let the bubbles rise and pop, and I'm gonna move on to the next step. For this video, I'm gonna be using a double wall venti Starbucks tumbler. And you can also use the dupes for these because we're gonna be spray painting it and covering up the logo anyways. So it doesn't really matter. But this is what I had on hand, so I'm gonna be using the actual Starbucks tumbler. And I sprayed the bottom with alcohol to get that sticky residue off from the sticker. And then to make the hole, I'm not going to use a drill. I got this hot fix tool from Amazon. And what this does is the tip gets hot and it just melts it. So you just got to put pressure and give it a couple twists and you will feel like when you go through the first layer. And just don't go to the second layer because you're going to make a hole. And it usually comes off with the tool, but for some reason it didn't. So I just got some pliers and I just popped it right out. And if you have some ends like how I did, how they're sticking up, just use the hot tool to like melt it back down and you'll be fine. And I like doing this in place of the drill because sometimes when you're drilling the hole through, you get like particles inside the cup and then you're fighting the cup trying to get it out, like, you know, smacking the cup around. But with this one, it just melts through and there's no particles. All right, so back to the liquid. I gave it time for the bubbles to rise up and pop, and I transferred it to this squeeze bottle. I think it's called like a tattoo washer bottle or something. I'm gonna link it down in the description below. And I like this because it has like a straw and all you gotta do is just squeeze it and it's gonna flow right through. And once I put like a good amount of glitter, I like to put more of the liquid. That way it's easier for the glitter and the mixture to mix around. And then once I put the liquid, I don't like to put more glitter right away. I like to move the cup around and get it flowing and then repeat the process. After I had the right amount of glitter that I wanted, I went to the trash can and just like brushed off the top of it to get all like the little pieces of glitter off. And this is the amount of glitter that I wanted, that I liked. So now what I'm gonna do next is fill up the rest of it, rest of the liquid to the top. And then also with these snow globes, you have to like constantly shake the cup while you're putting the liquid, because you don't want the glitter to get stuck and then later on you're gonna have a big bubble. So what I do is I plug the hole with my finger and just shake it around like vigorously off camera and then just keep repeating the steps. Shake and put more liquid, shake and put more liquid, all the way until you get to the top. I'm not gonna lie, it is tricky getting like all the bubbles out. So what I like to do is tilt the cup on its side, and as you're filling it, like slowly move it like towards the top, and you gotta find the bubble and kind of like a little game, try to make its way all the way to the hole and like kind of like smack the cup around when it's like almost to the hole, that way it pops. And another reason why I like these squeeze bottles is because you can angle it to where like the bubble is at and just squeeze the liquid in. And then after I filled it all the way to the top, I like to let the cup sit overnight and just degas, just in case there's any like micro bubbles at the bottom. It'll give it time to rise up and then pop at the top. So this is the next day, and you can see that the liquid is not all the way fully to the top like how it was the day before, is because it probably had little micro bubbles that rose to the top and now they popped. And the reason for the degassing is because I have made tumblers before where I didn't let it degas. I just filled it up and then I sealed it right away the same day, and then later on during the day or the next day, the epoxy, when I sealed the cup, it was like a lot of pressure and it would bubble up at the bottom. So now I let my cups degas overnight, that way there's no pressure built in the cup. So now we're gonna refill up the cup all the way to the top, and I overfilled mine just a teeny bit, so I got a napkin and just to absorb some, so it's just like right below the hole. And then before I seal the cup, I like to get some alcohol to clean the bottom of the cup, just to make sure there's no oils, that way the plug and then the epoxy has no problem sticking to the cup. So to seal the bottom of the cup, I like to use the Gorilla double-sided tape. So it's kind of like a really heavy duty, like a jelly tape. So I just cut a little piece, and then I like to cut like the corners of it. That way, because since it's a round cup, you cut the corners of it and it just lays flush against like the cup. So I'm gonna show you how to put it on, and once you put it on, you're gonna like push down, make sure it's really like attached to the cup. And then I don't know if you have to do this, but I like to take off the other side of the tape. Why? I don't know. I just like to take it off. And then I press down on the tape again just to make sure nothing lifted up. And then we're gonna seal the cup, at the bottom of the cup, with some UV resin. And this is the brand Let's Resin. And it works for me. I haven't had any problems with it. So I put a good amount at the bottom to make, so it can cover the whole entire cup. So I put a good puddle, and then I rotate the cup, that way the epoxy has touched every surface on the bottom of the cup. And then we're gonna turn on the UV light. And the cool thing about the UV resin is that if you live in a sunny area, you can just go put the cup outside for about 3 minutes and it's gonna be cure. So I put the UV light on, and sometimes my UV light isn't as strong. I don't know why. It's probably like a little cheapy one. But I put the light on for like a minute, and then I was like, you know what? It's nice and sunny outside. So I took it outside and I cured it with the sunlight instead. All right, so here's the bottom of the cup. It cured very hard. So next we're gonna be putting on the stencil of the cup. So what I'm gonna be using is an Oracle 631, which is a removable vinyl. That way when we put it on the cup, it's easier to take off once we spray paint it. So before we do that, I like to clean the cup with some alcohol to get off any oils and dust on the cup. And then after, we're gonna be putting on the stencils. This is the transfer tape that I like to use. It's called Frisco, and I get this on Amazon. I'll link it down below. And I just cut a little piece off, and then I like to put on the leopard prints. Oh my god, the leopard prints like in pieces. So I don't like to put like the full thing on at once. I like to put it in pieces. That way I can control like where they go. So this is how I pick up the vinyl. I just put the transfer tape on like a section of it. I rub them with my hands and then just place them on my cup. And this leopard print SVG, I cannot tell you where I got this from because I don't remember. I've had it for years. It's been in my Cricut design folder. And I feel like I've gotten it from Etsy because I get everything, all my SVGs from Etsy. So you could just like search up leopard print SVG and you'll find one, no problem. So I'm just gonna do this all over the cup until I think it's enough. And when I'm putting these type of things, I always like, oh, I need one more, I need one more. But yeah, I made it nice and full because that's how I like it. And then let me show you how it looks after. So here it is. So once you got all your leopard sprints, here we go again, sprints. Oh my god, I need some water or a Red Bull. So now we're gonna take it outside and we are going to spray paint it. I have a white spray paint, it's a Rust-Oleum, and then a neon pink. So to get the bright neon pink, it has to have a white base first. So with neon colors, make sure you always put a white base or else the color is not going to be vibrant. So we're just gonna spray the white all over the cup until it's white, and then we're gonna spray paint the neon after. So I waited until the white spray paint was completely dry before I spray painted the neon pink color. And this is the Krylon brand and it's called Fluorescent. And I can't find the name of the pink color on this can. It just says Krylon Fluorescent. And it's just like a super neon pink. Like the camera does no justice because I'm telling you, this pink is super bright. It's so beautiful. And I think I got this on at Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't know, but it's the Krylon Fluorescent brand. And I think I need a drink of my coffee. So it was kind of windy, so it was kind of like hard to spray the cup right. That's why I had to get like really close. But yeah, I just spray paint the cup until it was just an even color and not splotchy. And then after, you gotta let it dry for a couple hours. Don't be tempted to touch it because it's not gonna be dry. So give it a couple hours until it's completely dry. And then after, we get to do the fun part, which is removing the leopard spots. For weeding, I like to use this weeding pen tool that I have. I got it on Amazon. I'll link it down below. And it's a very sharp like needle, and it's good so you could get like right into the corners of it, but just be careful because it's very sharp. And so you're just gonna do this for the whole entire cup, get all the leopard spots off. Just get to the corner and just lift it up and then like take it off with your fingers. But be careful not to scratch the cup. So that's why I really like this tiny needle, is because it's very tiny and it's easy to lift up. And then, what was I gonna say? Okay, I remember now. Okay, so some of the spots were a little bit more difficult to take off. It's because we put 2 layers of the spray paint. So it was a white one and then the neon pink. So it kind of like sealed in the vinyl a little bit more. I made a black one, and I'll show you at the end of the video. I made a black one, and the spots were easier to take off just because it only had 1 layer of black, and that's it. And also, what also comes in handy is putting removable vinyl. If you don't have removable vinyl, it's fine. You can use a permanent one, but it's just gonna be a little bit more difficult to take off the vinyl. Once we're done taking off all the leopard spots, we're gonna print the vinyl decal for the middle, the logo. And this is the one I'm using. It's here's the measurements, 2.3 by 2.29, and they're both the same size. And this file I also got from Etsy, and I'll link it down below. And then I'm gonna put these in the same mat, so I'm just gonna make them the same color. But just know that one of them is gonna be silver, and then the top is gonna be that magenta color. And this is how it's gonna look like. But for the cutting's sake, so I could put them in the same mat, I'm just gonna make them the same color. So this is what it's gonna look like after the vinyl has been weeded. So I'm just gonna layer them now. I'm gonna put some transfer tape for the one that's gonna go on top. And then I like to peel the backing off versus pulling off the transfer tape. It's just easier for me that way. And then I'm gonna align it and then use a squeegee to put them together. And the broken glass vinyl one in the back, that is from Tech Wrap. And then the pink one is from Expressions Vinyl, so I'll link them down below. Next, we're gonna peel off the backing, and we're going to put the logo on the cup as center as possible. And to avoid any air bubbles, I like to apply from the center, like squeegee the center, and then work your way out. And then once you scrape that vinyl like really good on the cup, you're gonna slowly peel off the transfer tape. And then after that, we are going to move on to epoxy. And for an extra shine on the tumbler, like extra glitter sparkle, I like to add Twilight epoxy additive. It's from my shop. It's called Twilight, and it's a micro fine glitter. And you just mix a little pinch into your epoxy, into your pre-mix epoxy, and you just mix it in, and it gives your cup like a super, super beautiful shine. And for this epoxy, I am using Alumilite Quick Coat, my favorite epoxy. It dries in a couple hours. And I am using 10 ml, so 5 of A and then 5 of B to make a total of 10. And I actually mix double the amount because I'm also epoxying the other cup, but I'm gonna use 10 mLs for each cup. And with working with epoxy, I always recommend you do your research, use proper PPE, respirator, and gloves. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Just safety first, guys. So with my gloved finger or my gloved hand, I'm just gonna rub the epoxy all over the cup. Make sure it's an even layer all over. And then after, we're gonna hit it with a heat torch to pop any micro bubbles. This is the heat torch I use. It's called Burnzomatic, and I just turn it on and I give it a quick pass all over the cup just to pop any micro bubbles, especially like around the vinyl area. I don't want any bubbles there. So this is about 5 hours later. I'm giving it a second layer of epoxy because I was still able to feel like a little bit of the vinyl and then a little bit of the leopard spots at the bottom. So I'm giving it a second layer of the same epoxy, the Alumilite Quick Coat, and I'm using a total of 10 mLs. So I'm just gonna rub this all over the cup. And after that, we'll be done. All right, so here is the finished look. I added some rhinestones around the logo of the cup and also on the lid, just because I like all things glittery, all things sparkly, so that's my style. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched till the end, drop some black hearts and some pink hearts so I know you watched it till the end. And let me know which one you like better, the black one or the pink one. So if you learned anything, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any new videos. Bye, guys.